What is a proposal? So it is a document outlining a planned research study within the field of education for us, detailing the research question, its significance, its methodology to be used, that's next week, expected outcomes, and a plan for data collection and analysis. It's essentially a blueprint for a project, right? And you make a proposal to kind of convince reviewers of its value and potential for the educational field. Proposals are very common certainly in education research and all kinds of research, right? And so often it's to get approval from administration. Sometimes it's even to get a little bit of funding if possible. And that's why it's really important, I think, and why I made this class about having a proposal. I think we didn't used to do that. So I want to go step by step each part of this assignment, okay? So as I just mentioned, you need to have a research question, okay, that you begin to think about. And what I hope is in our class in person next week that you will have the opportunity to kind of really fine-tune what that question is, decide on it, and begin working on it. So this one that I'm going to show you is what happens to student engagement when a brain break is provided prior to instruction. Quick sip of water for me. So that's your first section, okay? The next section is providing a compelling rationale for your study, okay? So this is I have it at the bottom. This is the personal part, right? You're explaining the significance and the why this is an important issue to address. You will consider the relevance to the field, the potential it could have, and the contributions that it could make, okay? So, right, you're writing that. So let's take a little look at it here. And of course, you've got Google Slides if you need them, right? Brain breaks are opportunities during the school day for students to break from learning to reset, right? It goes on. They can vary what they are. It uses one citation there, which is really important to include in citation, right? If you are talking about someone else's work, to cite them. You can see it goes on, an increasing body of research suggests this, right? So having the background there is important. Considering their potential to improve academic performance and on-task behavior, more studies need to be completed. So they're saying, hey, we need to study this, right? This is important, brain breaks. So that's your second section. The third section is the literature review. Okay, so in a couple weeks you will be doing a APA lesson asynchronously. So a little bit on how to collect research, and maybe I'll go ahead and make that available sooner than later. But what you need to do is conduct a lit review to situate your study within the current body of knowledge, right? There's already been studies on what you are talking about. So now's your time to look at these and think about what they found, their key findings, and the way they found them out, their methodologies, and are they going to add something to yours? Okay, so for this lit review, you need to have the following. And I hope this makes sense, right? If there are 3 people in your group, and there are some groups of 3, you need at least 5 citations with at least 3 peer-reviewed articles in your work, okay? So the lit review would have at least 3 peer-reviewed articles where you give a full review of whatever that article went over. Those other 2 citations could be in the importance of the study, in your final thing, but you need to at least have 5 total, where each person is coming up with a peer review. And if you don't know what peer reviewed means, then you will learn that in that asynchronous class. If there are 4 people in your group, you need 6 citations. If there are 5 people in your group, you need 7. So I hope that makes sense, that the lit review will have the same number of people as articles. Okay, so it would be a longer one with more people in the class, right? So you're going to learn more about this a little bit during the week of February 10th, okay? Just so you know, this is typically the longest section of a group proposal, but it is essential that we support with past literature. So although I have just told you the minimum number of articles, more only makes your proposal better. So you are a group of smart individuals, so think about what you might find out there and share with each other your articles so that you can make a strong proposals. Now, citations can refer to websites and non-peer-reviewed articles, right? So those other two, they don't have to be peer-reviewed, right? Those citations in your importance of the study could come from a website or a non-peer-reviewed article, but you can only, the lit review must be peer-reviewed, okay? Next up is the potential context for your participants. So basically what this is you describe the people in your study, okay? The setting and any other relevant demographics, okay? So you'll discuss how this context will influence the research. So what do we know about it? And really the details of this section depends on whether your group wants to use a more specific class or whether it's a more general, like a 5th grade classroom, general education. Or are you going to be like, it is, Dr. Gilbert's science class, and there's 30 students in it, and they look like this, and their demographics are this, right? You can choose someone in your group if you want, right? Their specific classroom in school. And in many ways, it will make your proposal, this section, easier to write if you take the context of one of you in your group, but you don't have to. You can generalize it as well, okay? So try to make that decision within your group members. So this is what it looks like. To further consider this question, it was a 5th grade class at Fairhill Elementary. It's in the middle of Fairfax. It's racially diverse, right? And because it's a proposal, you can use the school name, etc. for this, okay? So you don't have to blind anything. That means take out names. So you can use this as specifically to a certain school, right? And you can see why using a particular context would be easier, right, in the long run. So I just want to say, this is the next section is the research design, okay? We're going to be covering this in future weeks. I don't want to get mired down in this today. But what this part is the type of research you're going to use. So are you going to use qualitative or quantitative or both mixed? What methods are you going to use to collect? Are you going to do a survey? Are you going to have interviews? Are you going to do observations? You really can't write this section yet, okay? Because we haven't talked about it. Data analysis strategies and ethical considerations, right? So this section, this research design, you can't really get started until after next week's class, but I wanted to, we got to get this train moving, okay? So we're pulling out of the station, so we got to be ready, all right? And of course, any good paper and proposal has a conclusion. Kind of summarize those key points, reiterate the significance again, and then consider any potential limitations and the impact, right? So really exciting. All right, so now that's the proposal. This was in class. You're going to learn your group members in a minute. You probably already know them if you read my email. But before you go, there's some things to consider as we begin this process. So your research question, it has to involve students, teachers, or schools, right? That's a given, okay? It's where action research is located. So must have. Think about whether it's in the locus of control. So that's a degree. I like this. So a locus of control is the degree to which people believe that they have control over the outcome of events in their lives as opposed to external forces beyond their control, right? So is this something, although it's a proposal, is this something that could potentially be done in the school, right? Is it within your locus of control? Is it something that needs to be changed? Okay, is it changeable? Can it be improved? Okay, so it can't be so off the wall that it's like, I want us to have, gosh, I wish this could be true, 3 hours of project-based learning every day, and this is why we need it, right? So I do think about, although, wow, wouldn't that be incredible, what it is reasonable and changeable, okay? And finally, what do you feel excited about? You're going to be writing this paper for a couple of weeks with your peers, so it does need to be something you're excited about. And frankly, I would love for one of you to carry this out and do this research and present on a conference. I'll be talking more about that in this class down the way. But certainly, I would hope you feel at least a little bit jazzed about it. So.